Welcome, my beautiful souls. I am the Rambling Psychic, and today we are doing Aries reading for January 2026. Aries, there's a couple things I want to tell you as I was pre-shuffling the deck. This is when I'm really meditating on your sign, connecting to our guides, and there's a few messages that I got. So, Aries, Spirit was showing me that January 2026 is opening a new timeline for you. And I know it's a new year, but this is a new timeline, is what I'm feeling. It was one that was either delayed, but it was protected and meant to arrive now. So something is coming your way, and I don't know. I feel like I'd get excited and look at all the cards I brought out. Um, Also, someone has been like circling your energy this month, and well, that door finally opens also. And what I would say in this type of reading, take what resonates, but if you clicked on this, Spirit already knows that you were meant to hear it. So let's go to the cards and let's go to our spirit guides. So Aries, sun, moon, or rising, by the way, those intuitively guided, which let's face it, many of you are. And I have to say, I am so proud of you because I just feel like so many have really worked to reach this point. You know what I mean? This point in their life, even if you don't know what you don't know yet, I would just, like Aries, I feel like just be open. Be open. So what we're gonna do, it's so funny, I can't believe I have so many cards. Um, we're gonna do love. I'm gonna break them apart for July, for June. I wish it was July. Um, so this is for love, and we'll use the crystal vision. No, I'm sorry, the Psychic Tarot, and then the Crystal Vision, and the Romance Angels. And then for money, I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot and the Tarot of Dreams. I'm going to go ahead and slide them over. We, of course, will continue with our major arcanas. I can't quit them. I can't quit them. And we will give Mother Mary the honor of opening. Well, it's really our honor of opening up our reading. So, with all that being said, let me go ahead and bring the lid down. Just go ahead and slide everything over because we are going to start again with Mother Mary. And what I would say, all of a sudden, I just got like so cold. Um, I would take a moment. I feel like I brought the lid down too far. Take a moment and just kind of calm your energy. There's going to be a lot of information in this reading. And if you're not into long readings, this may not be your reading, but I would give it a chance. You know, what I say or what I feel is if it pulls you in, it pulls you in. If it doesn't, then maybe it just wasn't for you. Um, but again, they're long, but with detail. That's the thing. This is like your roadmap. So, anyways, I didn't mean to do so much talking. Also, feel free to ask your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation throughout this reading. Remember, this is your reading. Even if you're here because you may be in love with an Aries, know that your guides know that you're here. So expect messages for yourself also. All right. Mother. So interesting. I can't get a song out of my head. Mary, did you know your little boy? I can't get it out of my head. It's interesting that Mother came up because it's just reminding me of that song. Um, Mother, I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. It may need some forgiveness, maybe. You know, I kind of know what this is talking about because it reminds me of like once I started having my children, it's like you look at your mother in a different way, like, oh, I understand now. I get it, right? I get it. Especially my mother raising four teenagers at the same time in the 70s. My poor mother. So, mother. We'll see. We'll know why it came up through the cards for sure. All right, so I'm going to bring in the major arcanas. And I just didn't love that shuffle. So, one more. All right. And again, everything is always pre-shuffled. That is my quiet time. All right. It's like, okay, they all came out. We have the star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. What an awesome way of opening up this reading. I feel like number one, like your guides are saying, we know what your wishes are. Okay. The hangman, but slow down, you move too fast. Interesting though, because then we get the magician. And that's exactly what Spirit was saying. Like something that was kind of delayed, but yet at the same time, because it was meant to come in perfect timing. Wow. Hello, magician. We are literally opening up this year in the energy of the magician. Magician is looking back at the hangman. And remember, the hangman, it's a pause in energy or time. But the hangman is really seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. Like, how do I make this dream come true? And he's looking right over the magician. Magician is paying attention. And what does the magician tell the fool? You possess all the tools you need to be successful on any journey, but especially one, it feels to me like the magician is a spirit guide. Well, I should say spirit guides. And we are entering a year one. So we do want to think about like this year is what's going to determine our next 9 years or our next decade. The magician mirroring the star, I love that. It's like the power is in your hands. I feel like there was just something that you had to wait on. But again, I feel like it was due to divine timing. It was due to the right time. The time when you can take that dream and build from it. All right, let's slide those up. I feel like I was right to the point. And then for January, I am breaking love and money apart. But I have to tell you, keep your mind open because many times they will relate to each other. So we will use the romance angels. We will use the gilded tarot. I'm sorry, the let's give Mother Mary a Christian. The tarot of dreams. Now, what is wrong with me? The crystal vision. And for love, the psychic tarot. So, who's been circling your energy? And Spirit saying that that door is opening. Okay. Shuffle. And cups. Mary, did you know Cannot get that song out of my head. Your baby boy. Conflict and defeat. Okay, so it is a 5. So keep that in mind. Because 5 speaks of change. That's what it wants. And it really, 5 really means graceful change. But let's face it, sometimes it can't be graceful. Conflict and defeat, I feel like, it's interesting, but I feel it's a little bit of the hangman's energy. I may have been pushing for something, but it just wasn't its time. It feels like every time I took a step forward, boom, I was pushed 2 steps back. But again, this is the first card, so it's asking for change. Some of this you didn't really have. Like, I feel like some of it you didn't have say so. Um, and that can be frustrating. But I see this little flame right there. I have a feeling. I just have a feeling it means something. Like I'm trying to get to that flame. We have the Death card of Scorpio. But transformation. Interesting because you have change and transformation. But the Death card signifies that a door is ready to close. And if it's conflict and defeat, I'm ready to close that door. So transformation talks about a rebirth. When one door closes, another door opens. I have a feeling, though, it also requires your action. The willingness to allow this transformation. Oh my. Okay. The Tower. Under the Hangman. Look at this. Here it's called spiritual union. This is the Two of Cups. Interesting. Under the Magician. The Tower is under the Hangman. And I feel like the Tower and conflict and defeat and the Hangman all go together. I feel like that's what was. And, sometimes things end that maybe I wasn't quite ready for it to end. But I feel like the magician's saying, look what's waiting. Look what's waiting. So if you've been dealing with, let's say, someone who just puts, because this part is love. So if you've been dealing with someone who just puts like block after block in front of you, for whatever reason, they're either not respecting you, giving you the time that you deserve, it's definitely the love that you deserve. The Tower does end it. But it's interesting because it feels like the Death card is saying this is actually your opportunity. But if you feel like you can't, then will help you. I do not, unless this soulmate was a karmic back here, but I'm not even feeling that. I feel like this soulmate is connected to the magician. Well, it is connected. But what I'm saying is I feel their energy together. So let's see what mirrors this conflict and defeat that wants to end. And when that ends, a new door opens. And that's that. Like, this new door will open. right. Look at this. Okay, first of all, this is the card of Capricorn. I always feel sorry for Capricorn. Like I don't know why they called Capricorn's card the devil. Some of you are like, I do. But I feel like what this is saying with it mirroring this change every year, but I don't know how you wouldn't want to change it because again, it just feels like one thing after another, after another, after another. You know, when you see the devil's energy, well, it literally says it here, temptation. Let me slide these over a little bit more. Um, you know, it's that energy of feeling lured into something. Like someone may have like this alluring energy, and then you give in, and next thing you know, it's like you're stuck in their web. You're stuck in their web. And it does take you freeing yourself. And this is not about judgment. Like, don't judge yourself. Don't be like, what was I thinking? You know, when we know better, we do better. And then, beautiful, there's the change. This is about a new beginning when you see an 8. But look what it says, positive movement forward, heading towards the sun. 8 is also the number of infinity. So, I feel like you just answered your spirit guide's call to close the door, or you already have. But there's a big difference to the door you're closing and the door that's opening. I feel it. I feel hardship, sadness, problem after problem with the door that wants to close. And the door that wants to open, well, your dreams start coming true. Your power comes back. You know what I mean? You know now what you deserve and what you do not deserve. You don't deserve that energy. You deserve this loving energy. But you do have to know that. And you do have to be able to close the door. And, you know, for some of you, you may have had a hard time closing that door. And your guides may have made things, you know, they can't cross your free will, but they can certainly cause resistance. But that would only be for your good. You know, some of you don't even know that this Two of Cups is about to enter your life, but your guides do. Well, all right, let's keep going. I'm getting excited. Wow. So, the Seven of Swords under the Death card, the closing of a door. Okay. Do I want you to close this door? You're damn right I do. Because this is really untrustworthy energy. They call this the thief in the night. Well, it literally says deception and envy. And to me, that means, you know, someone who doesn't want to see you do well. And it feels very self-centered. Like, that's being kind. Like, I'm being kind when I say they're being self-centered. Because I feel it's more than that. You know, and I know some people don't like it when I put down the energy of the Seven of Swords. But I do know that they have the same opportunity as we have to grow, right? To learn, but not everybody wants to. Interesting that the 7 is next to an 8. Someone may have like a life path 8 and be like all work and no play. But I also feel, this is why your spirit guides are trying to move you forward. Literally, it feels like there is nothing left. And if I remain, then I'm remaining because I'm nervous about change. I don't know what lies out there. Put your trust in your guides. And even ask them to send you some light on your next steps. That's exactly what the hangman is doing. Talking to his spirit guides. What steps should I take next? So, although some of you may not love that the tower is here, let's just say in a spiritual level, like I feel happy that it's here, and I know that's not going to make everybody happy. Wow. Um, but I feel like if that's the case, you may have become comfortable in the uncomfortableness. And I certainly can't, I'm not here to try to change people's minds. Like well, Spirit's like, just read, Sandy. Okay. We have the sun. We're taking what's face up first. Beautiful. This is your illumination. This is your truth. Like, you can't deny the truth when the sun is out. Nor do you want to, really. This, to me, is about a brand new day. Think about the sun rising. And here you are in the light, mirroring the hangman. So, whatever wisdom you were seeking, the light will make sure that you receive it. It is your clarity. And there are no clouds in the sky. So you can see far. And then we have interesting the 6 of Cups under the 2 of Cups. Could be someone you already know. 6 of Cups is about nostalgia, happy memories. There's really not much, if any, negative energy associated with it, at least here at this table. And oftentimes I feel like, especially connected to a soulmate, you probably have lived past lives together. And I love that 6 of Cups is also mirroring the Magician. So whoever else is in, because I do feel there's someone else in here, well, your soulmate. And are both of you, because this door is opening now, are both of you actively manifesting, even if you don't know it? It's interesting because I don't know why I feel this way, but when I see the sun, I often think of like hometowns, like a place where I was happy, a place where I was unencumbered. I don't really have movement other than the 5. But that doesn't mean, like some of you may have made a physical move, like back home or back, let's just say back to a place, or maybe the other person has. Now, it doesn't have to be, though. Okay, well, let's keep going. Interesting. The 5 of Cups. How interesting. We'll come back. Accelerated motion. Kind of like what I think about, I bring about. All right, I didn't plan on taking this many cards, but okay, they're all reversal, turn them out, but I'm not going to turn them away. Moving on. Well, there's our movement. Choose wisely. Beautiful. There's your counterpart, male or female. And for some of you, it may be calling for you to really allow yourself to be in your feminine energy. You can see your heart chakra is being activated. So, okay. So we ended with the Six of Cups, where nostalgia is. Potentially love. Not potentially. Love does live there. And then we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups ask you, how interesting. The first card's a five. The last card, even though these came out too, but to fill the block out, the last card's a five. So it could be two changes. But in the Five of Cups, it's like showing us the picture now. Someone, probably a lot of you might have been dealing with, and this, it doesn't have to be like it just happened, but it would be energy that's still with you, energy you still carry around. Once you deal with someone like in the Seven of Swords who can be a cheater, I definitely feel like a liar. Because I definitely feel like it's the type of person that doesn't want to face like the true consequences. So I'll tell you what you want to hear. Tell me what I want to hear, what I really, really want to hear. But here you are, saying enough. This is you realizing that it was toxic. Doesn't always mean the person is toxic, but toxic to you. This is really good news, I feel. Now, I know that temporarily this energy can feel a little difficult, but it is temporary. And it's really for those who, because I'm feeling two things here. I'm feeling some, the change is going to be hard, though this six is tying back to the other Six of Cups. But others, I feel like once you say no more, I feel like it's a sense of freedom. Like freedom. And then you have the Seven of Cups. So you're meeting someone. Someone's offering a cup. And the ball is put in your court. Now, the Five of Cups. It asks you to ask yourself, what are you focusing on? Because it's so close to the devil, which can certainly be illusionary energy, and I feel like the biggest illusion the devil casts upon us is making us feel stuck or unworthy. And it's all bullshit. It's not the truth, not the light. So when this person says, that's it, I'm not going to keep trying to make something work that just doesn't want to work, or I'm not going to give someone energy who just messes with me anyway. I'm ready for something new. And I have a feeling like when you say those words, I feel like it's like, what do I want to say? Like music to your spirit guide's ears. I feel like with the Empress here, who, by the way, is the mother figure. But what I feel with the Empress is, she's loving, nurturing. She's the nurturer. She's gone through a lot, and a lot of people skip over that. How do I become the Empress where I'm not afraid to open my heart? And why is she not afraid? Because she trusts her intuition. She knows her guides speak to her through her intuition, and they will guide her. And she knows that if any lower vibrational energy tries to enter into her energetic force, the alarm bells will go off. And I feel like once you feel like you've reached the Empress's energy, which means that you're keeping your heart open, doesn't mean you're just gonna fall in love with anyone. No, the Empress doesn't do that. She is of a higher vibration. She's worked at it, just like you have. And therefore, like over here, what feels like the law of attraction, therefore, the vibration I'm in, the universe is going to meet that. And that door, it's an opening. It's opening with the death card. But what lies behind it? That Two of Cups. What if you don't want love? Just say no. Maybe you pose a question. How about if we start as friends? Maybe you were friends. And maybe they say that. Well, we were friends. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Because something is telling me it's not that I would say I would want to say no, but if I haven't cleared this past energy, and I feel like, what do you need to clear here? I feel like you have been learning about your worth, what you deserve. And, I feel very proud because I feel many of you have been dealing with some difficult energy, but yet you've still been working on your own spirituality, your own vibration, and it's showing. It's showing. And the Seven of Cups puts the ball in your court. Oh, I know what I was going to say. In the Five of Cups, when you're no longer focusing on the past, there are two cups that are behind. And it's interesting because every time I want to show you, the card I have doesn't have it. But usually behind this person, you see two cups. Well, here they are. We already have them. They just may not know that yet. And you decide. Look at the sun right there. Clearly illuminated. Their energy is clearly illuminated. Their truth. I don't feel like this is anyone who's coming in with any bullshit. I feel like this is someone who, well, let's just put it this way. This is going to be familiar energy. Whether you know each other in this lifetime or a previous lifetime, soulmates, you know each other for eternity. You've always known each other and you always will. It's just, do we come into this lifetime together? And I often feel like when spirit really gets involved with our love life, then that means that we have reached a certain vibration. And it's almost like our guides want us to have this gift of love. But we had to clear some cobwebs. And really, that's what 2025 was all about. The clearing of the cobwebs. They're getting ready to start anew. And here we are, starting anew. Okay, let's look at the bottom of the deck. Nine of Pentacles, material harvest. That's nice. Look at that, the star. That's interesting because I have a feeling that's going to show up one way or another in your money sector, or your career, whatever you want to call it, but we'll get there. But what I feel like what this is representing in your love is the energy of the Nine of Pentacles, and that is independence. That's feeling strong on your own. Doesn't mean I want to be alone, but I don't feel desperate in that energy. This person has their hands wide open, like gratitude, but also receiving and allowing oneself to receive. All right, let's bring out the crystal vision. Give them a cut. By the way, Happy New Year. I should have opened up with that. All right. Let's begin. Interesting how your cards are coming out in blocks. The world. The next chapter. This means something has come to completion. Definitely a message here, right? Over and over, we're getting that message of something has come to completion. But then the world's energy opens up. And to me, it's one of the most beautiful times, if not for the rest of your life. Because I feel here, well, you can just see her. She's in this very Zen position, right? Zen energy. She's open to receiving. And it's coming over that 5. 7 of Cups. Oh my gosh, the Star. The Unknown card over the Soulmates. The Unknown card, by the way, is the High Priestess. But her crystal ball was clouded. But I often feel, especially connected to the Magician and the Soulmates, some of you may not know who this is. And that may be what it's saying. But also, I feel like sometimes we try to push something, like we meet someone new, especially if we dealt with some of this old energy, which, let's face it, the majority of us have at one time in our life or not. I definitely feel some of you may be in that decision mode right now of closing a chapter, but then keep in mind, this is year 1. Whatever you bring along in this year, chances are is going to stay, at least for the next decade. And if that is issues that's been, well, then they will continue. Now, I get it. I do get it. I understand. Because I feel like for some of you, you'd really hoped that something would have worked out. And I don't feel like you should put a lot of blame on yourself, if any. It just doesn't feel like the one. It could have been a stepping stone to the one. But it doesn't feel like you're ever after person. I got to say that because I feel it. But the world to me does signify. Number 1, it signifies the most spiritual time in your life. This is really when you are intact. You're walking hand in hand with your spirituality. It's just who you are now. And that's a beautiful thing. So some feel like I wish that I may have prayed didn't come true the way that I had hoped. But I feel like your spirit guides are saying, trust us, put your faith in us, because it just feels like, in a way, they were protecting you. Isn't that interesting? I just said protected. Remember how I opened this with spirit guides saying that something was delayed, but yet protected at the same time and meant to arrive now? Wow. And we're doing love. The Empress is mirroring the Magician. I just realized that, and that is also great energy. And I love the Empress mirroring accelerated motion also. That's kind of like the law of attraction. What I think about, I bring about. But I feel like in the year of the Magician, what I think about, I bring about. I want to think about what I'm thinking about. And then I feel like I don't see anywhere where you're trying to control a situation. I feel like once I close that door, everything else just feels like it kind of flows. Yes, it did take your physical action. It did take you to realize that I can't stay in this. It's not producing any fruits. And for some of you, you know, it may have been a while since you felt like you were an independent soul. And Aries, the one thing I know about you is you love helping the underdog. But part of your growth, let's say, I also feel because you love helping the underdog, is learning, who deserves my help and who's taking advantage of my help. All right, keep going. I love when a card just floats out and look at that. The sun right over the shadow. Good luck and goodbye. Goodbye. Double Leo, double Aquarius. I know I really haven't been given many signs. Virgo, Scorpio, and I'm sure I'm missing some, but many of you know what I'm going to say next. I prefer that you don't think about the signs. Well, I guess to each their own. All right, we have the Page of Swords. Feels like my Aries have found their voice. Beautiful. Ace of Pentacles. And so it begins. And so it begins. Let me tell you something. I feel like someone may have taken advantage of your goodwill in more than just one way. The heart, yes, I feel like your heart got affected. But I also feel like this is saying, when Spirit said a door was opening, but it wasn't its time. Well, this Ace of Pentacles, it's something that's coming into your physical world. Now, for some of you, it could be money. It could be a way out, let's say. But coming of his Seven of Swords, it makes me feel like your guides are saying, if this would have opened too soon, then I have a feeling someone else's hands would have been all over it. But it was meant for you. The Ace of Pentacles, it is a seed that needs nurtured. The nurturer, the nurture, the sun nurtures that seed. And if you nurture the seed, then it only grows and blossoms. And I feel the Ace of Pentacles sets off new seeds. It's not a one-time thing. For some of you, though, love is coming into your physical world. And it may be important for you. Like, I feel like what this is saying with the Page of Swords is some of you, you were learning, like you were regaining your voice, your power. Some of you were learning how not to get caught in someone else's drama. And it's a hard lesson, but it's worth it. Okay. Interesting. Even that has a question above it. But it's also mirroring your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. So it's like divine's like, here you go. Here you go. How do you like that? My favorite love card. This is true commitment. This is both seeing each other's worth. I love how this man is putting this woman on a pedestal. And I think she does the same for him. I love it's on a white horse, pure. They call this the marriage card. I call it the true commitment card. Because not everybody wants to get married again. But look at that. That Ace of Pentacles. And look at the star right above it and the sun right below it. The Three of Pentacles. Interesting. And then your spiritual team. What are they doing? They're calling you to the present moment. Why? There's about to be a rebirth. What are they coming over? The Five of Cups. Don't focus on what was. Dream about what can be. You deserve the highest form of love just like anyone else. So why can't it be you? It can be you. Believe it. And by the way, you know what it feels like to me? It feels like when I close a door, this new door just opens. Or let me put it a different way. Okay, so I feel like somebody is yesterday's news. And I kind of feel like it has to be that way. Mainly because I don't feel like they offer you what you deserve. Now, doesn't mean you hadn't hoped and wished, but when someone shows you their colors, they're showing you their colors. And then the Three of Pentacles in a love reading. I love the Three of Pentacles in love. Because this is partnerships and alliances. This is where, some of you poured your energy into your craft. And I feel like chances are you're doing well, or you will be. And, I feel like that is a great way to overcome something. Refocus the mind. Now, it's interesting because in the Three of Pentacles, it really does speak about being your authentic self. And no apologies for it. Because this person, and by the way, it's coming under the soulmates. This person, that's what they love. That's what they will love. You. Your truth. Even what you think is broken, they're going to think is adorable. It goes both ways here. This is two people who will feel very comfortable being their true, authentic selves. Now, you put that with love. And that is why we have the Four of Wands. The respect of each other. Some of you, this could be someone that you used to work with. Because I get the sense like there could be someone who may already think of you. It is coming over the Six of Cups. 33. I'm getting that a lot. And some may have a master number 33 or a life path 33. Or, a personal year 33. Um, and that is pure love. That is pure energy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I just feel like the biggest thing your guides are asking from you is just the willingness to let go of what you know is just not working, right? Is working against you. And, we all like, I feel like we've all been there where we want someone to love us the way that we feel we love them. But I won't say they didn't love you. What I'm saying is it doesn't feel comforting. Okay, I actually don't even want to talk about them anymore because this is about what's waiting. And how long do you got to wait? Well, judgment's like when you allow this rebirth, then it just takes place. And how beautiful that the sun is right above judgment. So, clear signs. Like you two are being guided together. Neither one of you may know, but this may be predestined. And this may be its timing. The beautiful Four of Wands with the star right above it. Maybe I had wished someone else could commit to me in that way. But this love, this type of love, and I love that the Ace of Pentacles is there because it means it's not a fantasy. It's coming into your physical world one way or another. And the ball is put in your court. So think about that because you guys can't make you say yes. But if you're in this independent energy, you're feeling strong within yourself. Doesn't mean everything is perfect. That is very seldom the case. But you're feeling strong. You know, you're ready for this new beginning. And some of you have already given yourself this new beginning, and hence the door now opening. This feels like the type of love that will last for the rest of your life. You do have to focus on it. You do have to nurture it. But I see nothing. I see zero restrictions. I see the opposite. I see love flowing. I see conversation flowing. I see us both loving each other for exactly who we are. And you are soulmates, so it's like the eyes are the window to the soul. And, I won't lie and say that everything is like hunky dory because the soulmates being the window to our own souls, if there's anything, let's say, left, still a little broken, well, soulmates truly can help heal those little broken pieces. But again, I feel like I feel a little chuckle. Like, I can't believe you don't like that about yourself. I think it's adorable. This is what you're meant for. This is what wants to find you. This is the door. All right, I'm going to bring in the romance angels. You know, when you have judgment, by the way, again, your spiritual team, and they're calling you to the present moment, telling you there's an opportunity for a rebirth here. It's coming from the sun's energy, the light, playful, unencumbered. And then the world is mirroring that. A new beginning. But a new beginning, the Four of Wands, that lasts the rest of your life. This is love. Not that what was wasn't love. This is your love, though. I just feel that. Like, I don't know, I'm almost choking up. But in a happy way. All right, romance angels. Well, well, well. Past life relationship. You have known each other before. That's why I kept saying that. This door, this timeline, the one that was delayed, yet protected. And Spirit says it arrives now. Now, when I say it arrives now, I want you to understand, though, that closing of a door is part of this. Look at them. Look at the romance. Look at the chemistry. You won't be able to doubt that. And that will feel very familiar to you. Now, I am not saying that some of you, it can also be someone you know in this lifetime. But if that's the case, I feel like, like the Six of Cups, to me, is kind of like back in the day. And it could be someone who had a crush on you, but maybe never spoke it. I mean, whatever the case may be, everything is pointing, like if you've had a past life relationship, and by the way, I'm feeling you had past lives, and this is coming back together, just think of the beauty of that. This is why your spiritual team is really trying to get your attention. And the magician, year one, mirroring your wishes. Yes, you may have wished for someone of yesterday who just didn't turn out right, but Spirit's like, I'm helping you here. I'm helping to guide your steps. Just try to have a clear mind. And by the way, if you feel like, I don't know if that was a sign, your guide says, ask me again. And keep asking until you know. They don't have a problem with that. They'd rather you know than wonder. You know what I mean? So, past lives. You've known each other before. And this is written in your timeline. And so it is. And so it is. And I'm going to let that be. All right, let's go ahead and move to your career, creativity, money. And we'll see if the love follows at all. And what I mean by that is you could both be very supportive of each other as it relates to your money and your career. And with the Three of Pentacles, that is the energy of collaboration also. And I've gotten that in a few readings. It's interesting because now that I think about it, Sam and I just started collaborating. Like we just started, we only did one so far, but we did that podcast talking about a relationship. But I have your questions all down for the second podcast, which I hope we do tonight. If not, we'll do it tomorrow. I want you to get it before Christmas. Um, but anyways, my point is, like, we just started collaborating. Say you never know, you never know. All right, let's bring out. Okay, let me switch everything. Let's bring out the Tarot of Dreams and let's look at your creativity, your money, business, whatever it may be. Because I don't feel like the star is just about love. We have the Palace of Swords. So in this deck, I feel like the Palace is like our ultimate goal. So, truth, communication. Some of you use your voice. You may be singers, podcasters, speakers. Truth tellers, truth seekers. Boy, I could go on and on and on. I'm feeling a lot of different things. Okay. Eight of Swords. And then we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, well, that's pretty clear. So we all know what the Eight of Swords is, right? Self-created prison. This is, if you look at this image, which is interesting, I did a personal reading on myself about a week ago. I was really down, and I wanted to find out why, and this came out as the first card. But anyways, you can see this person is naked, right? But she's hiding from the world. And I get the sense that she doesn't feel that other people will accept her for who she truly is. And the Page of Swords in reverse. It kind of is like finding your voice, but feeling free to use it. Interesting how they're all swords. The Palace of Swords being the first card, that's a good thing. I feel like that is the potential. Now, will I allow myself to reach it? We have the Six of Pentacles. That is the fine art of give and take. Definitely energy of compassion and empathy. And this is something you're great at. Sometimes you have to learn. Who am I giving a hand out to and why? Is it benefiting them? Or is someone taking advantage of that? But here's what I'm feeling also. Some of you aren't giving to yourselves. You easily give to others, but you're not allowing yourself to receive. Either that or you're not trusting what feels like in your authentic self. But even as I say that, I definitely feel for those who may be a little stuck right now, it's kind of like writer's block. I do feel like that's going to change. But remember, the Eight of Swords, you're the one who's got to uncreate that. You just got to know your worth. And let's say you've been giving your energy to, anyone taking advantage of it. That's what you're learning here. Like where to put your energy and where not to waste your time. It's time to bring that voice back out. How about that? How about the 10 of Pentacles? House of Abundance. You know, it's like your guides see you in a different light than you see yourself. They see your potential. Like, I feel like this 10 of Pentacles is very doable for you. It may start at the beginning. It may start with uncreating that prison, setting oneself free, trusting within your own voice again, knowing who you're giving, just knowing who gets your energy and who deserves your energy. But remember how we saw the 9 of Pentacles in our love reading? And then in our money, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Then we have the King of Wands. Chances are that's you, male or female. Some of you may have been in your masculine energy as a female. I know I'm in my masculine energy a lot. Matter of fact, I got to remind myself to be more feminine with Sam. But this is someone who is action oriented. This is someone who does take chances, but pretty much knows what they're doing at this point at the same time. It may be asking you to remember this side of yourself and be willing to take these chances on yourself. It's putting you right in that palace. So we know it's doable. I'm using strange words in your reading. Like, not strange words, but words I don't use very often. And that may be your words, or your words of confirmation from your guides. We have Page of Cups. And then look at this, we have another palace, the Palace of Wands. That is your natural energy. This is inspiration, passion, ignited. If someone had writer's block, and I'm using that just as an example of blocks, it feels like we're unblocking it here. I feel like the Eight of Swords here, I feel like it's coming from, or let's just say, because it is a block, but it's you blocking it. It's like it's what you want to do. Now, it's not what I think you should do, but it's like what the person wants to do in the Eight of Swords. I want to block energy. Do you know what I mean? But the Page of Cups right below that, who I often read as your inner child. I feel like there just been like some not such kind words said to you, and you may have taken them on as your own truth, but they're not your truth. Like when you have like words, because words hurt. But you also have to know, like, okay, that's their opinion. That's their perspective. And let's just say that this is the energy that came from that love. that spirit saying we need to close that door. Well, again, so am I going to believe that energy for a while? Probably. But maybe like once you do set yourself free, you're really setting yourself free. And I feel like, and that opens up everything, not just love, but also your creativity. If I've had writer's block, everything's flowing freely again. Well, look who just had an awakening. Wow, that's beautiful. No wonder we're seeing the palaces. And this is mirroring the magician. It's so interesting because here the magician is looking right at the hangman. And this hangman's looking right at the magician. Help me with my next steps. And now the magician marrying the awakened hangman. You got it. I'm going to help you step by step by step. I feel like the first thing, if you feel like, or if you question, am I having a spiritual awakening? Well, are you living in your truth? Because that is, I feel like, the first thing, truth. Spiritual clarity. This is beautiful. By the way, many of you are taking that wisdom of the awakened hangman and helping others. But I feel like now it's pretty clear who to help. And I hate to say who not to help, but let's put it a different way. Who to give a hand up to. Because I know that makes you feel good. And I love that part of you. So shutting it down isn't the answer. It's just knowing, understanding, like I can't help the world. And some people are just taking advantage of my goodwill. The hangman in the awakened state means spiritually, you're going to just become clearer and clearer. The signs, wow, they will truly be illuminated. Now, a spiritual awakening to me is a process. I don't wake up one day, and I guess it depends who you ask. This is just my opinion, but I don't feel like you just wake up one day, oh, I've had a spiritual awakening overnight. I feel like it's a process. It's a process of everything I've gone through, understanding it, but understanding it with a spiritual lens. Because in the awakened hangman, everything now, you're seeing it through a spiritual lens, and it does. It does look different. Wow. I just have a feeling some of you have been through the energy of resistance, maybe for years. And this energy feels like the complete opposite. Oh my gosh, a beautiful Knight of Pentacles under the Ten of Pentacles and looking right at the Hangman. And then the Chariot. Well, my dear, now it's time. Now you truly possess unlimited potential. And now you know it. This means chances are you're not going to let anything get in your way. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way or a mean way. You know your own truth. You know you possess this talent. Knight of Pentacles, to me, is your guardian angel. This Knight tells you, I come at the right time. And again, what Spirit said when I started your reading, a new timeline for you. One that was delayed, protected, but meant to arrive now. That's what this Knight tells you. I come at the right time. Well, I feel like this Knight was waiting for you to begin your spiritual awakening. And what does that do? It just seems like it lifts the veil and everything is clear. Truly unlimited potential. But here's the thing with the Chariot. It is your intentions to tell the Chariot where to go. It's not magic. It's not the reins of the horse. It is your intentions. And the horses will just follow. Heart of Cancer, by the way. Wow. I want to be in Aries in January. That's what it feels like. Like people are going to wish they were Aries in January. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Wow. We'll let that go. The Ten of Wands. But for some of you, this is a period of heavy responsibilities. Sometimes it's putting everything on your shoulders. I mean, you can, oh, look at that. Ace of Cups. Some of you, that's exactly what it's saying to you. Like you've carried the weight of the responsibility all on your own. That is not the way love is meant to be. Well, I shouldn't say that because, again, chances are what I've learned from this is my own worth. And I love that you have the Four of Swords below that, healing. So it's like healing of the heart in the background. But this heaviness, it's like the Ten of Wands is being replaced with the Ten of Pentacles, the House of Abundance. And here is your Knight that brings the that Pentacle that we saw in your love. But because the Ten of Pentacles is right above it, like, get excited. And I really don't want to put like, okay, you're doing this or you're doing that. I do feel like some of you are working with your voice. I do feel like some of you are doing something where you are helping others. And it's coming from your own experiences. And that may be why I feel like you're going to be so abundant because you understand. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. Aries, I love your reading. Love it, love it, love it. And of course, different people are going to be at different stages. Some may still be back in this Eight of Swords. But this is what the reading is for. So you can trust in yourself again. Let's just say that you've had to set yourself free from the Eight of Swords if you had a spiritual awakening. Like, they can't live in the same house. Look at this. The Ten of Cups mirroring the Ten of Pentacles. Can we have it all? It kind of looks like we can. Is it easy? No, it wasn't easy. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely, it's worth it. Love, harmony, laughter, joy, abundance, loyalty, rooted. Oh, Ten of Swords over the Eight of Swords. Okay, so first of all, I have to say, when I see the Ten of Swords, the first thing I think of is a repeat pattern. Like, I feel like whoever this may be, well, you are the person taking the daggers, but it means over and over and over again to the point where, it's you breaking this karmic loop, and that's probably what it was. It was probably a karmic loop. Karma. But look at it this way. This may have been the opportunity to pay that karma back for eternity. And that, my friends, when you free yourself, these swords fall out of you. These swords don't follow you. Not when you free yourself. And then we have Four of Pentacles over the reversal of Page of Swords and the Hangman. I don't know if anybody can make you believe in yourself if you don't believe in yourself. I mean, do I wish I had that power to make you believe in yourself? I do. But I know that that's part of our soul's growth. And let me just say this. When you see the 10 swords, if there was a question of should I give something another chance, to me, that says you can, but it'll end right back up to the 10 swords again. Four of Pentacles is about your foundation. It's interesting because I feel like the Hangman in the major arcanas, I kind of feel that he wasn't feeling really, really steady. But I do feel like every flip of the card, I feel that you're becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. Three of Cups. So, joy, celebration. But the meaning of this card is rejoice in celebration. That means there's going to be something to be joyful for. That means something's coming in, probably unexpected, that immediately brings joy to your heart. There is that Nine of Pentacles. So let's talk about the Nine of Pentacles because this is your money sector. The meaning of this card is successful self-employment. So if you are starting a business or you have a business, this may be a month where you really start to see the fruits of your labor. But if you're just starting a business, plant those seeds now. Plant those seeds now because this is telling you it only gets better. Some of you working from home, like I do, and I have to tell you, I love it. It's something I have always wanted to do. And then we have the Five of Wands. Drama. Fighting, but it's a 5. I feel like what this is saying is some of you have dealt with, and now I'm talking about your money sector now. It just feels like there were, again, like challenges. Like, why was every step I take forward, I felt like I was pushed back to. That was yesterday's energy. That was yesterday's energy, because this 5 is also change. I feel like for some of you, you may have left a job because you were sick of the energy around you. And you've taken what you know and you started your own thing, your own business. Or if you didn't do that, then you must have put, because I feel a change. And I know that's not going to be for everyone. All right, well, let's see what comes beside it. The Six of Pentacles. You know, I feel like some of you may have been like really busy, like wrapping up the year's end. Judgment. So it's kind of beautiful. They not only showed in your love, but they're showing in your money also. So again, calling you to the present moment, talking about a rebirth. The Four of Cups. You know, coming over the awakened hangman, someone has realized that they have just been unhappy. They could not find contentment in what they were doing. And I feel like you were seeking advice, seeking guidance. This cup that's coming in the Four of Cups, you know, as this relates to love, it talks about discontentment or boredom within one's emotional world. But this cup coming in, I feel like, is relating to your money, you know, also fulfillment. And then the Three of Cups right above that. Oh my gosh. Who better to deliver your hopes, dreams, and wishes than the Knight of Pentacles, your guardian angel? Who better? Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, there's those options again, and then the Five of Cups. It's like your spiritual team is saying, we need you in the awakened state because there's going to be options coming your way. And it doesn't have to mean like it's a whole, like you're starting a whole new business. Some of you are. I am not going to leave that off the table. Some of you are, and some of you already have a business. And again, you may have felt the restrictions of 2025, and 2026 feels like freedom. It feels like freedom. And I cannot help but say, with the Five of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Three of Cups, I would not be surprised if there is also some collaboration with a love. This Page of Pentacles tells me that what you've been through and what you're still going to go through, it's all been about learning, evolving, growing. And whatever you put your focus on is what you're going to grow. But listen, you can put your focus on more than one thing. Because here we're focusing on love and money. I say money. Let's just say creativity. Now, I do feel like the money will follow. Don't get me wrong. But your creative house is lit up. It is lit up. And it feels like there are more than one options coming your way. I definitely feel, like this Ten of Wands, yesterday's news. And I feel for some of you, it has been about laying the groundwork. Maybe like I've been itchy. I wanted to start before I really knew it was time. And now the energy is saying, oh baby, it is time. It is time. It is time to live your dreams. It is time to be unafraid and know that you have a right to live the best life that you can possibly live. And because the hangman is in the awakened state, right next to guardian angel, who also brings out your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Like I feel like you've got to. I hope you get excited for this. I do feel for some of you, it's about your voice, whether you're a singer, a writer, a blogger, a podcaster, whatever it may be. But I feel your wisdom and your spirituality is a big part of this. Doesn't have to mean I speak in spiritual lingo, but baby, I've had a spiritual awakening. And nobody can take that from you. And you look at life differently. You look at all the potential instead of seeing all the roadblocks. And if there were roadblocks, now you see how strong you truly are because of those roadblocks. So you're looking at everything with a different perspective. I've been learning. I've been growing. And that's that. I feel like, where do I go from there? Nowhere. I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to let it be. It is good to be in Aries in January. But when I say that, I want you to understand this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, my friends. And I know many of you have worked so hard to get to this point that I pray you just allow. And don't, try not to put restrictions upon what it must be, because sometimes our wishes are answered, our dreams are answered, but they may look differently than what we wished. But you can trust, especially with the Knight of Pentacles ushering it in and the Magician, that it's going to be better, probably than you even imagined. It reminds me of me doing what I'm doing. I remember getting up every morning, going to work. I managed fitness centers and spas for 25 years, and I always had to get up early, and I am not a morning person. I can't help it. If any of you listened to Sam and I's first podcast, he had said he had wished I would come to bed with him at night, but I'm a night owl. And even though I try, I just lay there with my eyes open. So why am I saying all that? I don't know. I don't know. But let me just say this. I love you. Your spiritual team loves you. And I just feel like, and you are going to love your life. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but I am saying that you have dreams, both in love and money, that are now opening up. It's almost like your spiritual team is saying all we're asking for is to allow this rebirth, and we promise you, we will help guide you. We are your guiding light. Thank you. And thank you. I love you guys. Happy, happy, happy New Year. I feel like that's just kind of what I want to title your reading. Happy freaking New Year. All right. I love you. Thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye. Your reading doesn't want to end. Interesting. Literally.